io Kenteli.
Right, get in. Go.
Thank you. Geen idee meer. Ik heb de nummer nodig. Ja, eventjes gehört. Ich will nicht gucken, was das ist. Speel nog.
It's Namibia up against Kenya in the second match of the World Rugby Stellenbosch Challenge. We are underway at the Makota Fields, and it is Namibia playing in their traditional blue and Kenya in their red and black strip. And Kenya now with the scrum just outside of their 22. But Namibia looking really strong in this scrum, managing to turn the ball over, and it is Bortma picking up the ball at the back, driving his way through a few defenders. Still available now for the men in blue. Waiting for it is Damian Stevens, but the penalty going the way of Kenya. Holding on the breakdown. So Namibia trying to make their mark early in this game, but Kenya showing that they can also just be as strong. So these teams with a great opportunity to measure themselves against Africa's best ahead of those Rugby World Cup qualifiers next year, where they will have an opportunity to play for the automatic qualification spot at the 2023 Rugby World Cup. That tournament will be taking place in July in France next year. 3 games, 240 minutes of rugby. That's what these teams know stands between them and what could be a life-changing moment to qualify for the Rugby World Cup. Line out secured by Kenya, and again losing the ball forward. This time it's Joshua Chisanga. Spent some time over at the Falcons in the UK in 2016 before returning to Kenya. Losing the ball forward there. The referee for this game is Morne Ferreira from South Africa, from the Lions Union in Johannesburg, brother of JP Ferreira, the defense coach at Munster at the moment. Made his Currie Cup debut this year in South Africa in the domestic South African competition. And he's also been asked to ref at the Dubai Sevens later this year. So it really has been great to see some of the younger referees making their way through, and a great opportunity for them to get a test cap here as well. Refereeing some really quality rugby in Stellenbosch. Stevens waiting for the ball, and this time not able to hold on to it, but the referee says it's gone backwards, and it's Danku Burger making his way through the Kenyan defense. Available again for Namibia. High hit there as Namibia fell almost into that tackle. Cliven Loubser now controlling things, gets the pass away to his captain, Johan Deysel. Back into the hands of Cliven Loubser. And it's been lost forward. Still available now for the Kenyan side. And a bit of a change in direction. Malcolm Osando made his debut for Kenya against Uganda a couple of years ago. Currently playing in Romania as the ball goes forward into the hands of Lorenzo Lui. Plenty of speed, and nicely done to get the ball into the hands of Udrich Mutonde on the far side of the field. Rashes down that touchline, secured by Namibia. Loubser. The big Arano Skutsia, 33-year-old, crashing his way forward. Now to Herschel van Wyk. Nice hands by forwards and backs into the hands now of Janku Venter. Venter knows his way to the try line, but he stopped just short of the 22. This time it's Max Kachicheko. Looking really solid from Namibia with ball in hand. Now to Loubser. Into the hands of Vian Conradi. Man currently playing his rugby over in the UK for Gloucester. Loubser now again to Danku Burger. He's had plenty of time with hands on the ball. Again, Vian Conradi. Somehow the Kenya defense managing to hold on for the moment. Kachicheko now. Stevens, inside pass to nobody, but it's been picked up by Van Wyk. And the penalty going the way of Kenya. So for now, it is the Kenyan defense that is holding and keeping the Namibian attack out. Kenya looking to progress to the Rugby World Cup for the first time. Namibia, of course, have been representing the African continent at the last 6 Rugby World Cups. And they'll look to make it 7 next year when they do play in that qualifying competition. Line out now for Eugene Sifuna. Finds his jumper. It's a little bit messy, but he gets his hands back on the ball, but he's not able to stay in touch. And Damian Stevens looking to take it quickly. Damian Stevens, also a man with plenty of experience, scored 9 points against New Zealand at the Rugby World Cup in 2019. Valuable experience that Namibia picked up in that competition. Unfortunately, one of their games not rained out, but it wasn't allowed to carry on due to the weather in Japan in 2019. And so Damian Stevens to Kachicheko, and nice pass to Janku Venter through the middle of the field, gets the pass away to Danku Burger, now to JC Greling, and he goes over, he gets it down, the try awarded. Namibia rewarded for their efforts with the first points of the game. JC Greling at the age of 30 knows his way to the try line. He's played 34 tests, and he was in fact born in Namibia. Not because he lived there or his parents lived there at that stage, but his parents were attending a wedding, and that is how he was born in Namibia, and taking full advantage of that. He really has been a great player for the Namibian side for many, many years. Played 34 tests, and at the age of 30, still as quick as they come as a left winger. And Cliven Loubser, probably one of the most talented players in this Namibian side, with an opportunity to add the extras. Kicking against a little bit of a wind, and that one will go away to the right. So the score remains Namibia 5, Kenya 0, after JC Greling put them in the lead. So after being able to keep the Kenyan, or rather the Namibian side out, Kenya's defense eventually folding. And they've played all the games so far in their own half, and now an opportunity for them to take play into the half of Namibia. JC Greling just scored a try, now secures the restart as well, driven backwards, but secures the ball for the men in blue. Stevens to Kachicheko. Stevens looks like he's setting up for the box kick. Just outside of his 22, he sends it home. Plenty of players giving chase, and a massive hit there coming on to Samuel Asati. But the penalty goes the way of Kenya. And Asati doing really well to secure the ball there. He was hit so hard, and the tackle did well to firstly secure it, but then to secure the ball for his team, and then forcing the penalty as well, as Kenya look to take play back into the half of Namibia. And they set up a line out. Joan Tavage Kube, the man that was born in Fiji. Born in Fiji and moved over to Kenya in 2016. Made his debut earlier this year for the Kenyan team. Nicely secured at the line-out. Eugene Sifuna finding his man, and now they try to get this more moving forward. Still moving forward. Still looking strong for Kenya. Being controlled now at the back. Waiting for it is Samuel Asati. Now it is Kenya that have to use it. They eventually break loose, but then driven backwards by Namibia. Asati now He finds the big Malcolm Osando. Again there for Asati, now deciding to go to Kubu, and Kubu finds the winger. It's Jacob Oji, and he's got a lot of speed as well. The scores are level. Kenya strike back 5-all with the conversion to come. A really nicely worked try there by Kenya, not forcing anything, making sure that they keep cool heads. And then some excellent footwork there from Jacob Oji, the 30-year-old, one of the leaders in this Kenyan side. And he goes over for their first points of the game. And after being put under a lot of pressure early, Kenya now have an opportunity to put themselves in the lead 12 minutes into this game. Joan Tavaga Kubu also scored a try last week against the Currie Cup champions in a game that Kenya did use as a warm-up as well. And that's an excellent kick by the man born in Fiji as Kenya take the lead 7-5 against Namibia. And it was Asati finding Kubu and then just holding on to the pass long enough for Jacob Oji to spot the gap in front of him. And he did the rest as well for the opening score for Kenya. Cliven Loubser with the restart. Again, Namibia very, very quickly up, trying to put pressure on the Kenyan side, but Kenya holding firm for the moment as Samuel Asati decides to use his big forwards to create a little bit of space. And now Asati going for the little chip kick over the top from the base of that ruck, but it's been secured by Namibia as Lorenzo Lui gets his hands on the ball. He's quickly put under a lot of pressure, but did well to secure the ball. Loubser now into the hands of Johan Deysel, then to the try scorer JC Greyling, steps in on the inside. Stevens again, Loubser. This time it's Robert Norkier. Now Stevens to Aranos Kutsia. Now Stevens deciding to, well, he spotted some space rather. A little bit messy now from Kenya, but they like to play some risky rugby at times, and often it pays off for them. And this time they secure the ball as Kubu is back in the pocket. Deciding to create a little bit more space for him before he puts the kick in, and now it does come to the fly half. And he tries to find touch on this near side of the field. But Cliven Loubser is in position. He can be extremely dangerous when he gets going, and he manages to makes his way through a few defenders. It's quickly out for Stevens, now into the hands of Vian Conradi. Stevens changing direction to Cliven Loubser, but offside there by the Kenyan fly half, and this is a penalty right in front, so decision time now for Johan Deysel. And they decide to go for the corner, so Cliven Loubser finds touch on this near side of the field, and it's an attacking line out. Cliven Loubser made his debut for Namibia in 2017, and since then he has been a really important part of this Namibian lineup in the number 10 jersey. Extremely talented player, picked up by the Utah Warriors in the Major League Rugby in the US. Still moving forward on Namibia, and it's Norkier who managed to get his hands back on the ball. He stopped just short of the try line. Stevens has got plenty of options. He decides to go to Ronaldo Botma, and he goes over for the score. The big number 8 showing his experience and goes over for Namibia's second try of the game, takes them back into the lead, and it really is wonderful to see Ronaldo Botma playing for Namibia again and playing really, really quality rugby as well. Been such an important player for them over the years. And also a man that's played all over the world, played in Japan for the Blitz, played at Harlequins, and currently playing over in the Rugby Europe Super Cup as well for the Israeli side, Tel Aviv Heat. First conversion from Lopesha went wide. The second one is good, and the flags are raised, and Namibia in the lead, 12-7, 17 minutes into game 2 of the Stellenbosch Challenge. And Ronaldo Botma, the man crashing over there for try 2 for Namibia. Kenya responded quickly after they conceded the first try. Can they do it again? As the try scorer Botma manages to secure the ball and showing his strength, and he gets the pass away as well to the big Aranos Kutsia. Excellent work from him as Vian Conradi makes his way onto the 10-meter line for Kenya, and they win the penalty as well, do Namibia. And that really was the perfect way to respond after receiving that kickoff, is to take place straight back into the half of Kenya. And again setting up for another attacking line out as Lopesha tries to find touch, and it has gone over the try line, so the referee will bring them back for a scrum for Kenya inside their own half. Perhaps just taking that kick a little bit too quickly and trying to build on the momentum that Namibia have been building. Eugene Sifuna, the hooker for Kenya, just receiving a little bit of attention. But he's quickly back on in his position to set for the scrum. Namibia have looked strong at scrum time. That front row, Herschel van Wyk, one of their young up-and-coming players, Robert Norkier in the number 2 jersey, and Aranos Kutsia, the veteran, in the number 3 jersey. Also a man that's played plenty of rugby all over the world. And they'll be looking to put this Kenya scrum under a little bit of pressure. They turned it one over earlier, but this time the penalty goes the way of Kenya, so some relief for them, but definitely an area of concern for the men in red and black, as they have been put under quite a bit of pressure at scrum time. The teams here looking for a spot in next week's final, which will be against Zimbabwe after they managed to beat Brazil earlier in this game. And very good effort there from JC Greyling, trying to keep the ball in, but just not able to do that. So it is an attacking line out here for Kenya as Eugene Sifuna makes his way. He's been good at line out time so far for his side. Full line out called by Kenya. Plenty of big players in that Kenyan forward pack. They also try to get their own rolling ball moving forward, but it goes down. Legally, says the referee, so Samuel Asati now has to take out and look for options. He tells his forwards they need to go and get ready as Malcolm Osando gets his hands on the ball. Asati again. This time he finds his lock partner Thomas Ongero Keo. This time it comes to Kubu, the fly half. Nice little pass from him to, of course, try to get him into the gap, but Namibian defense reading it well. Now Kubu with a little chip kick through. Cliven Lopesha is there. And Cliven Lopesha looks to run his way out of trouble. Cliven Lopesha boots the ball downfield. Cleven Lopesha, the magician, in a really tricky position, managing to get himself out of trouble as he takes play to close to the halfway line. The Namibian coaching staff, led by Pine Pinar today, in the absence of Alistair Coetzee, their head coach. Well, he was named the head coach earlier this year, looking to see if he can take the Namibian team to yet another Rugby World Cup. A little bit too quickly up there, the Namibian defense, so the penalty advantage is there. Can Kenya do something with this? Always exciting to see the Kenyan team when they have been given the freedom to do something special. As it comes to Kubu, the Fijian-born man, and he gets the pass away nicely. Plenty of speed being shown there by Vincent Onyala. And he manages to go over for the second score for Kenya. So again, after Namibia taking the lead, Kenya responding beautifully. And it's a 12-all game halfway through the first half of this second World Rugby Stellenbosch Challenge encounter. Joan Tavaga Kubu really has made a very, very big impact in this Kenyan side after making his debut earlier this year. And he was waiting just so that he could qualify to play for Kenya after moving from Fiji in 2016. And it seems like the wait has certainly been worth it. Every time he gets the ball, you just think something's going to happen, and he's been good with the boot as well. Found the first conversion, and the second one is good as well. So Kenya back in the lead, 14-12 against Namibia. So both these teams on attack looking really dangerous, and perhaps in defense not quite as strong. And in particular Kenya, every time they have had an opportunity, they've managed to turn it into points. This time Masati gathers the restart and he kicks the ball long downfield. Back in position was Edric Mouton. Gets the pass away to Cleven Lopesha, but again, Kenya very, very quickly up. The ball being held up, and Kenya have managed to turn it over. And this time, Namibia managed to get their hands back on the ball, but there was an earlier knock-on. A little bit of pushing and shoving there between these two teams. Conradi, a man that's never backed down for a challenge. And the referee for today, Morne Ferreira, only 27 years old, but showing a cool, calm head so far in this game. Kenya with the line out. Asati to feed. He's got his fly off Kubu on this near side. And they decide to go to Kubu. Long pass over to Mukidze. Now to Jacob Oji. Again steps his way past a few defenders. Very difficult to bring to ground. Asati now finds his big men driving their way forward. Asati now to Kubu. Every time he has his hands on the ball, it just looks like he's got a few more seconds to think than the rest of the players. Again, Kubu. Nice little pass, and this time it's Kenya stepping their way through the defense. And Kenya get their third try of the game. Absolute delight for the Kenyan side. as they get their third score and an opportunity for them to go into the 20s with the conversion. But again, it was that pass by Joan Kubu, just timing it really well and holding on to it long enough for the gap to open up. And the Namibian defense looking a little bit brittle at times. Kubu adds the extra, so Kenya up to 21, Namibia 12. So Kubu, the fly half for Kenya, just dictating play so well. He gets the pass here from Asati and then perfectly timed pass into the hands of Onyala, who spotted the space opening up in front of him. He just had the one man to beat, and you're not going to be able to stop him that close to the try line. Asati now playing with a lot of confidence is the scrum half for Kenya, and they do have the advantage, or rather the penalty has been awarded to the Kenyan team just outside their 22, so another opportunity for them to take play back into the half of Namibia. Been a tough physical game so far between two of these, or maybe these two rather, really strong physical teams, and so there'll be plenty of sore bodies tomorrow after this encounter. But of course these teams get to do it all over again next week Saturday here at the Makota Fields in Stellenbosch. The winner of this game will go and play Zimbabwe in the final. The team that finishes, well, rather, the team that loses in this game will be up against Brazil, and Brazil showing how strong they can be in the second half with a really improved performance. A change here for Namibia as Gerard Opperman makes his debut for Namibia. He makes his way onto the field in the number 18 jersey. Gerard Opperman, the line out secured by Kenya, although it's a little bit messy as the ball goes into the hands of Jacob Oji. Again, Asati in position, and he does well to secure the ball for Kenya. One of the other players will have to play scrum off, using their big man on this near side. A nice strong run coming from Kenya again, but they'll come back for the penalty after there was a knock-on. So perhaps decision time here for Kenya to decide whether they want to add the 3 or whether they want to go for the line out. And they're deciding to go for the line out. Definitely a kickable penalty with the wind at his back for Kubu, but they feel that they can convert this opportunity into a few more points, and they set up the line out on this near side. Paul Odero, the Kenyan coach, looking on intently. He must be really excited with the scoreline as it is at the moment, and he'll feel that his team can add a few more here with about 10 minutes to go before half-time. Eugene Sifuna, they go to the front. They set up nicely. Ball goes down, but being controlled at the back as Asati rather waits. Asati now to Kubu, and Kubu again looking for one of these big centers to try and make the break. Now again, Kubu back in position quickly. They decide to go wide, using their big men on the far side. Brian Tanga stopped in his tracks. The penalty is there for Kenya. And now it is Mone Ferreira wants to have a quick word. And he digs into his pockets. And that is the first yellow card of this game. Namibia down to 10 or 14 players rather, perhaps for the rest of this first half. And so the pressure still remains on this Namibian side. They will have the wind at their backs in the second half. But for now, it's all about Kenya. Interesting decision here. Kenya deciding to go for the scrum just inside the 22-meter area of Namibia. And perhaps looking to make the most of their one-man advantage. But Namibia's scrum has really been strong, so let's see what a difference one man can make. Kenya backing themselves. Oh, and it's again a penalty that's been given away. This time it's Damian Stevens. Offside at the scrum as Asati was waiting to get that ball out. And so now Kubut saying, let's rather go for our line out. It's been working really well for us so far in this game. And he sets it up a few meters out from the try line. 13th meeting, this one between these two teams. Namibia winning 10 of them so far. Kenya only the 2. The last time they met, it was in 2018 in Windhoek. The winner of that game was the team to qualify for the 2019 Rugby World Cup. Of course, it was the Namibian side. And the ball lost at the line out for Kenya, so an opportunity that's gone for them as Namibia now try to work the way out, the ball out from deep inside their own half. Cliven Loubser in position. Damian Stevens waiting to get the ball out. And he decides to take it on himself, and he looks for touch on the far side, and that one will go to just short of the 22-meter line. Quickly taken by Kenya as the ball ends up in the hands of Mukidza. Now it comes to this near side as Jacob Oji, the try scorer, makes his way forward, but it's been held up and ripped nicely by JC Grayling, looking to use the space on this near side. Loubser looking for options. He finds Lorenzo Louis. He spotted some space, but Kenya very quickly back. Oh, and Jacob Oji not able to stay on his feet and not able to control it. Namibia now all over this Kenyan ruck, or ruck rather, that Kenya is trying to secure the ball from. Kenya needing to track back about 90 meters. And somehow they've managed to secure the ball as Asati now decides to take on the kick himself, and he finds the security of the touchline on this near side. But that was a good turnaround by Namibia as they have an attacking line out on the 22-meter line. Under 10 minutes to go in this first half for Namibia to see if they can reduce this gap. Hubert Nortje currently plays for Seattle in the Major League Rugby over in the US. Also spent some time in Montevideo. And he comfortably finds his jumper. And now Namibia moving forward with that driving maul, moving forward, making great ground, being controlled nicely at the back by Nortje. It's making their way closer and closer to that try line, still moving forward. Eventually it breaks loose, but the penalty has been awarded to Namibia. And so no doubt they'll set up another line out here. Namibia currently playing with only 14 men. Oh, in fact, they won't go for the line out. It's Ronaldo Botmo who picks it up quickly, and he manages to make his way to just short of the try line. Quickly out again. This time it's for Janku Venter. And they manage to hold him up. And then eventually rip, but the penalty goes the way of Namibia. A high tackle there, so still not out of danger for Kenya. And now again decision time. And again it looks like they're going to take the tap penalty. And this time it's Hubert Nortje picking up, trying to drive his way over the try line. Stevens using the big men. It's PJ van Lille. And PJ van Lille is so difficult to stop close to the try line as he scrums his way over for Namibia's third try. A high-scoring game, this one so far. And Namibia reduced the gap, and they can reduce it even further with the successful conversion kick. They trail by 4 with about 4 minutes to go in this first half. PJ van Lille, at the age of 37, still playing some wonderful rugby. Played most of his rugby over in France. Has been at 3 Rugby World Cups so far, looking to make it 4 for his country. As Lopesha adds the extras to reduce the gap to 2. It's Kenya 21, Namibia 19. Just a few minutes remaining in this first half. And it is the big PJ van Lille. So much strength. Receiving the support from his teammate Janku Venter as well. Not sure he needed it, but he went over for Namibia's third try of this game. Joan Kubu with a restart, goes a little bit deeper. And Namibia fine touch on this near side. Lorenzo Lui with the kick, and this line out on the 10-meter line. Kenya have been dangerous every time they've paid a visit to the Namibian half. And tapped again, Messi, but again secured by Kenya as Jacob Orji tries to make his way through, but he's hit hard in the tackle. Asati now to Kubu. Kubu throws the dummy, almost gets through the half gap, but it's well read by the Namibian defense. The big Joshua Chisanga trying to make his way forward. Eventually goes to ground. This time it's Daniel Sukuta. Gets the little offload away to his flank partner, George Nyambua. Now it comes to Kubu. Kubu reading the play nicely. Kubu spotting a little bit of a gap, but he can't get through the defense, and it's available now for Kenya. Asati deciding to change direction. Gets the pass away to George Nyambua, the man they call Jijo. Asati again to Kubu. And a bit of a standing start there for Malcolm Osando. But he secures the ball for Kenya. And Kubu with a nice little pass on the inside to Mukidza. Well read on this occasion by the Namibian defense. Asati, this time he finds Malcolm Osando. Pick and drive for Kenya, keeping with big forwards for the moment. Looking to see if they can open up this Namibian defense. And it's again Asati. Now it comes to Kubu. Now it's quick hands, but not able to secure it. And it's been allowed to, both players been allowed to continue by Morne Ferreira. And I think the Kenyan player is just waiting for the whistle to go, but Namibia looking to continue playing, but eventually they do come back for the scrum. So the Namibian defense holding firm on that occasion, keeping out the strong Kenyan attack. Just before halftime in this second game of the Stellenbosch Challenge, as Kenya look to cause a big upset here against Namibia, but still 40 minutes to go, and it will be Namibia with the wind at their back in the second half. This time it goes down, and the scrum, or the penalty rather, awarded to Kenya. That is the call from the referee, Morne Ferreira. And I think where Kenya thought they might just look to hold on here to keep the lead in the first half, they now have an opportunity to extend it, and they decide to go for post to see if they can make it a 5-point ball game rather, just before halftime. As Joan Kubu says, he wants to have another opportunity to kick a goal. He's been really solid from the kicking tee. He's been really solid in all his plays so far. And the scrum going down at that far side. And Mone Ferreira spotting the infringement, and so it is the penalty. Possibly the final kick of the half. A little bit of a wind that will be supporting this ball from Kubu, and no problem with the kicks from the kicking tee for Joan Tavaga Kubu as he extends the lead. It's Kenya 24, Namibia 19, and a surprise lead for the Simbas in this first half. And so Namibia with plenty to think about heading into the halftime tunnel, as Kenya have made the most of their opportunities. And make sure that you don't go anywhere. This will be an exciting second half in this game. Join us again in just a few minutes for the second half as Kenya take a 24-19 lead into the second half against Namibia. Namibia up against Kenya, and as Namibia make their way back onto the field for the second half, they've got it all to do in the second 40 as they trail 24-19. Namibia opened the scoring as they had a few really good opportunities in the opening half of this game, especially the opening few minutes, putting Kenya under a lot of pressure, and it was some good handling there. Danku Berger managing to get the pass away to JC Grayling, and he went over for the opening score of the opening try of the match. And then it was Namibia just looking to use their big men at times. On this occasion, it was that Janku Venter with a good pass over to his center, and Namibia showing that their skills, backline forwards, it's all there, and it is right up there with the best on the African continent. But Kenya responding in some style as well, and it has been their fly half, Joan Kubu, dictating play on that occasion, getting the pass away to Jacob Oji, who just stepped past a few defenders and made his way over for the first try for Kenya, as they took the lead with the successful conversion as well. Namibia then managing to respond again, and Damian Stevens has been rather dictating play nicely at the back of that ruck, but Ronaldo Botma showing some good strength as he went over for their second score. But it seemed like every time Namibia scored, Kenya responded as well. But again, it was Botma just looking at Botma just showing how good he is and how much Namibia have maybe missed him in that short period that he didn't feature for them, and what an important role he has played for the Namibian side. But as I said, Kenya have responded every time they've let Namibia come through, and they have responded in some style, and that's why they're in the lead 24-19 at half-time, and perhaps an opportunity for Namibia to use the wind that will be at their back in the second half to see if they can get themselves back in the lead and to show just why they are the second-ranked team on the African continent. But for now, it is Kenya who have the advantage. And it is that man with ball in hand, Joan Tavaga Kubu, who has been instrumental for them in this encounter. And it is Kubu who gets us underway, deciding to go down the middle of the field as Kenya give chase, but it's comfortably been secured by Namibia. A little bit of time for them to work their way out of their own 22, as Damian Stevens is quickly back in position, and he looks to set for the box kick as well, looking to see how much distance he can get with the wind at their back. Waiting for this one is Asati, and one of the shortest players on the field. This time he's not able to hold on to it. He took a good take earlier, but this time it's Namibia with their hands back on the ball as Johan Daisel sends this ball downfield, and this time it's not going to roll out into touch. Kubu in position. Now Kubu looking to run the ball from deep inside his own half, and it is Kenya managing to make their way past a few defenders. Looking to use their 7 skills are the Kenyans, but they're not able to control the ball as Namibia forced the penalty. And now definitely a kick a reachable kick here for Cliven Loubser if they decide to go for posts. But it looks like they are going for the try, looking to set a line out up on that far side of the field with Damian Stevens setting up that line out. Namibia would have wanted to score early in this second half, and this a great opportunity as they get that rolling maul of theirs moving forward, still moving forward. Kenya in 6 and 7s at the moment, and they go over as Namibia do get that opening score of the second half. They managed to level the scores, 24 apiece, the conversion to come, and the perfect start for the men in blue. again scoring from that line out. And again, nicely controlled at the back of the maul. And the kick now. Looks like Damien Stevens taking over the kicking duties. And an important one this for Namibia to get them back in the lead. Solid connection and no problem with the direction. And Namibia back in the lead. 2.5 minutes into the second half of this Stellenbosch Challenge match 2. The ball nicely secured at the back of that maul. And showing their strength as they barge their way over for try number 4 for Namibia. The first points in the second half. Kubu with the restart. Cliven Loubser allowed to have a little bit more time. Kenya a little bit slow from the restarts, but Namibia taking some advantage, or taking advantage of that, has just allowed them to have a little bit more time to try and get themselves more organized. Max Kachicheko tries to get through a couple of defenders. Now again Stevens waiting for it, and again looks to set for the box kick as Kenya wait. They've been tested a couple of times, and very nicely done by Ulrich Muton as he managed to get his hands on the ball and knocked it backwards, but the penalty goes the way of Namibia. Not rolling away, says the referee. And a really solid start this from Namibia in the second half. So Stevens again with ball in hand. In the first half it was Cliven Loubser doing the kicking with the tee and from hand, but Damien Stevens is scrum off. He has played fly off many times for Namibia as well, and he's definitely very capable, but definitely a decision that has been made. And again it's a line out. Namibia opting to go for the tactic that has worked so well for them, and again being controlled by Louis van der Westhuizen at the back of that maul, but he has been pushed out into touch, so Kenya managing to keep them out. Louis van der Westhuizen previously played for the Northwest University in South Africa, also for the Leopards and the Cheetahs, a man with a lot of experience as well in this Namibia side. But now the eyes on his opponent, Eugene Sifuna. He finds his jumper under a pressure situation as Kenya look to work their way out from deep inside their own half. It is Kubu who will be kicking against this wind, looking for touch on this near side. In fact, it is Asati deciding to go for the kick himself, and Ulrich Muton doing well to keep the ball in field. He's brought to ground on the halfway line. Stevens now finding Loubser, and then it goes to Daisel. Not able to get through the defense there. Still available for Namibia as Bortma picks it up, and now into the hands of the big PJ van Lille, but he loses the ball forward, and so the referee will bring them back for the offsides penalty. And so Namibia really showing that they think their line out is working for them, so no need to go for the posts and to try and do it in threes. They prefer to do it in 5s and 7s as Stevens finds touch on the far side of the field. And I think Kenya know exactly what to expect here from this line out. They go deep. Bortma catches. Bortma works the way back, ball back. And being controlled at the back now as Namibia try to drive their way over it. They manage to move forward, still moving forward, and that is another score for Namibia. The driving ball from the line outs working for them. They're sticking with it. and it's extended their lead, and all of a sudden it looks like it might be a difficult way for Kenya to try and get back into this game in the second half. It's only been 7 minutes, but it's been all about Namibia as they've dominated possession, they've dominated territory, they've dominated the set pieces as well, and it shows on the scoreboard. They're in the lead 31-24, and again it will be Stevens with the conversion. Just too much strength and well organized by this Namibian side, controlling the ball so nicely. And it's again their hooker at the back, Louis van der Westhuizen, getting over for his second try. He's only been on the field for a few minutes and already managing to get 2 tries. Here has Louis van der Westhuizen. Good competition between himself and Hubert Norkeer for that number 2 jersey. And it's a good position for Alistair Coetzee and Pine Pienaar to be in, to have so much quality in their team. As Stevens tries to rather add the extras, but he pushes this one away to the right. So it's Namibia 31, Kenya 24, 8 minutes into the second half. This is the World Rugby Stellenbosch Challenge. These two teams looking for a spot in next week's final, where they will be up against Zimbabwe, who earlier today survived a big comeback from Brazil, but in the end managing to hold on by 2 as they progress to the final, and Brazil will be in the match for that 3rd, 4th place playoff. Shorter option this time from the Kenyan side, but well read by Danku Burger, and here comes Namibia straight back on the attack. Looking a much different team here in the second half. Strong run from Namibia again. Stevens now finds his fly off Loubser, looking for some space on this near side, and that is a really, really good kick from Cliven Loubser, playing the rule really well inside his own half, and it rolls out into the 22, so it's an attacking line out for Namibia. And with a rolling more like that, you need somebody, you need a kicker to put you in those positions, and Cliven Loubser doing it extremely well. Louis van der Westhuizen with some tall jumpers to aim for. He finds Kachicheko, a little bit of miscommunication. Eventually it's Vian Conradi who has to do the cleaning up. Almost gets through the defense. Again, it's van der Westhuizen, comes wide to Udrich Mouton. He's well defended, but Namibia remain on the attack, and it's again going to the hands of Vian Conradi. He's had a few of those big runs in this game so far. The arm goes out for a penalty. PJ van Lille, he's already had a try in this game, looking for number 2. Kachicheko now, and he loses the ball forward, but they do have the penalty advantage. And so it's really been relentless from Namibia in the second half. 10 minutes of putting Kenya under pressure, and they've cracked a couple of times. Looking now to see if they can get through for a 3rd try. And Botma again looking to opt for that tap penalty. He picks it up quickly, decides to go himself. Backs himself, but he's brought just short. Stevens has got a number of big players to aim at. Nice little play there by the flankers, Janku Venter and Conradi. Change of direction now for Stevens. He comes to Van Lille, and a nice little loop around from Lorenzo Louis. And that is another score for Namibia. 3 already in the second half. And they've opened up a really healthy gap here in this encounter. Lorenzo Louis, man who played really good soccer and rugby while at school, represented his country at junior level in both sports, and then deciding to focus on the oval ball. And I'm sure that the Namibian coaches and fans delighted with that decision, really showing what he adds to this Namibian team. And it's not easy to work your way into this Namibian side. Quality all round. And Namibia showing here in the second half why they will be possibly the favorites going into next year's qualifiers that will be in France in July. Stevens with the conversion attempt, and he pulls this one away to the left. So the score remains Namibia 36, Kenya 24. And Namibia have been doing it with their line-outs, but this time showing what they can do with their passing game as well. Just remaining calm, keeping ball in hand, and then deciding to spread it wide. PJ van Lille, nice pass from him to Ulrich Mouton, and then Lorenzo Louis doing the rest. Still a little bit to do, but he managed to get his way over the try line. Definitely has been a big momentum shift in this game, and Kenya have had very little opportunity with ball in hand. And we haven't seen the exciting backline do much in the second half, and they haven't been allowed to do anything really by this Namibian side, also playing against the wind. With the line out now secured, and finally an opportunity for them to get the ball into the hands of Jacob Orji. Again, using the big forwards for now. Kubu dictating play, but they decide to go to the other side, and it's John Akeyo Okok driven backwards in the tackle. Namibia very strong in that position, and they've managed to turn it over as well. Nice pass out of the back of the hands, and Namibia looking for their next try, and it's JC Grayling gets try number 2. He scored one in the first half, and he's got enough speed to get his second in the second half as well. Namibia starting to run away with things, 41-24. Only 15 minutes gone in the second half, but it's felt like an eternity for this Kenyan side, who've really had very, very little ball in their hands. They've just been trying to do the defending, but even that has struggled in the second half. And Namibia really coming through and showing their class. .34 test for Namibia for JC Grayling. And a great pass there out of the back of the hand from Vian Conradi. Cliven Loubser in exactly the right position, and then waiting with that pass, putting it away at just the right time for JC Grayling to crash over. And it's a healthy lead for Namibia. Stevens looking to add 2 more, and just not able to curl it in. So it remains Namibia 41, Kenya 24. And he's played such an important role for Namibia, JC Grayling, over his career, and still adding so much value, and still in that 11 jersey, one of the quickest players on the field. Also an opportunity for both coaches to perhaps turn to their bench. And it is Kenya bringing up a couple of replacement forwards. Brian Juma in the number 19 jersey making his way on. Also in the number 18 jersey, Afrim Uduar at the age of only 24. And the man that's gone off there, number 4, Malcolm Osando. Also played in the UK in League 3 for a little bit. But he's had his time in this encounter, and it really has been tough for Kenya in the second half. And that man, Joan Tavaga Kubu, who controlled things so nicely in the opening 40, has had very little to do in the second half with ball in hand. The restart going deeper, and again Namibia securing it nicely, running the ball from deep inside their own half, and the penalty going the way of Namibia as well, not releasing, says the referee. Hard to imagine that just 15 minutes ago at halftime it was Kenya in the lead 24-19, but since then Namibia have added 4 tries. This kick not going out for Namibia, so perhaps an opportunity for Kenya to run the ball from deep inside their own half and to release their speedsters on the wings. Asati keeping it with the forwards. Driven backwards by Namibia, so strong in those contact situations. Now it comes to Kubu, throwing the dummy, almost getting past a couple of defenders, but then brought to ground. Asati again on that far side, finds Mukidza. Still available for the Kenyan side. Keeping it with the forwards. Big collision there. There's been a couple of really big collisions here between these two very physical, very strong teams. And the penalty as well, going the way of Kenya, not rolling away is the call. And Kubu perhaps there just showing some of his frustrations that he hasn't had enough of the ball, and he jumps his way to try and control matters there. And he also just says, let's just calm things down a little bit. Let's just see if we can't go and play some rugby inside the half of Namibia. See if we can somehow find a way to stay in this game. Secured at the line out. Comes wide. Now it does come to Kubu. Finds Vincent Onyala. Kubu again. Now to Mukidza. Nice pass into the hands of Tanga. Just not able to get past Danku Berger. And ripped away as well. But coming from the side, I think, is the call from the referee. So it is a penalty for Kenya. And again, Kubu quickly saying, let's see if we can take play a little bit further. Let's see if we can't stay in this game. Morne Ferreira, the South African referee for this encounter. As I mentioned earlier, big year for him. Currie Cup debut, asked to referee at the Sevens in Dubai later this year. And an opportunity to ref in this test match between Kenya and Namibia. Sifuna, front of the line out. They trying to use their own driving maul now. A little bit of momentum. But that ball not going to ground, and excellent defensive work by the Namibians from that driving maul. And it really has been a tough afternoon, or a tough second half there for Paul Odera, the Kenyan coach. But on the Namibian side, plenty to smile about in the second half as well. They'll know that there's still a bit of work to do before their next game next week. And obviously still plenty to do before they head over to France for the Rugby World Cup qualifiers. Just a reminder of who they will be up against in that competition to try and qualify for that spot. They are up against Burkina Faso first up. And then if they progress there, they'll be up against the winners of Zimbabwe and Cote d'Ivoire in the semi-finals. And then if they manage to go through there, they'll possibly face the likes of Kenya, Uganda, Algeria or Senegal for the spot at the 2023 Rugby World Cup and a spot in Pool A. Pine Pinar there, currently in charge of the Namibian side, as he tries to take this Namibian team forward. They were left in a good position by Phil Davies after the 2019 Rugby World Cup, but now it's the likes of Pine Pinar, Alistair Coetzee, seeing if they can't take Namibia to the next level. As Loubser with a nice touch finder. That's an excellent kick from Cliven Loubser. Takes play to possibly just short of the halfway line and using the wind at his back. For Kenya in their quarterfinals of that qualification tournament, they'll be up against Uganda first up. A win there will see them take on either Senegal or Algeria as they look to qualify for their very first Rugby World Cup. They've dominated on the 7th circuit, but have not been able to quite take that form into the 15-man's game. But Namibia really in control of things when it comes to the set pieces and it comes to their rolling maul, still moving forward. They've got the penalty advantage as well. Now it comes to Stevens, to Loubser, into the hands of Daisel. Nice running rugby this by Namibia as they get the pass away to JC Grayling, but he loses it forward, or rather backwards, and it's been held up now. And so the referee will bring them back. But Namibia showing how good they can be as well through their back line. And they are really a very well-rounded team number of their players playing in South Africa, some playing in the French leagues as well, and then also recently a number of them going over to the United States to play in the Major Rugby League, or the Major League Rugby rather, playing for the likes of the Utah Warriors, the New Orleans Gold. And the United States also one of those teams up and coming in World Rugby. They've been at the few World Cups now. They're looking to take it to the next level, possibly also bidding for a future Rugby World Cup, and that could be a game changer for the game there as well. Strong scrum from Namibia, but Kenya have managed to secure the ball, and they decide to run it from deep inside their own half. Almost gets through the gap, but eventually it closed down. Now Kubu, almost intercepted there by Woodrich Mouton. And just a knock-on, says the referee. We've seen some of those given as penalties. But perhaps the referee saying that he had a chance to get his hands on the ball and to really go for the intercept. So just a little bit of a break in play here as one of the Namibian players receives a bit of attention. And the referee, Morne Ferreira, being assisted by Dylan November and Vian Swart in this game. Two assistant referees in the earlier game as well. Communication between the match officials has been really good. And the Namibian head coach, Pine Pinar, a man with plenty of experience, having been with the Bulls, having been with the Cheetahs as well at some point. Looking on, very, very happy he will be after the last 20 minutes in the second half, perhaps in the first half. Of course, Alistair Coetzee not available for this encounter, so Pine Pinar taking on the head coach role, but Alistair Coetzee will return for duty, and as mentioned earlier, Coetzee will look to lead Namibia to another World Cup. Namibia securing the ball from the scrum as Daisel puts in the little ball, the kick through, but Kenya managing to get back in time. But they've been put under so much pressure in this game, and again finding themselves deep inside their own half. And very few options here, playing against the wind to see if they can, or they should consider running the ball out, kicking the ball out. The kicks won't go too far. They're deciding to keep it close with the forwards for the moment. Kubu is in position. And he's waiting for Asati. Now it does come to Kubu, and they decide to run the ball out. Very, very dangerous play this by this Kenyan team. And Namibia quickly up in defense. But Kenya managed to win the penalty. Not rolling away is the call. And Kubu now just finding his mark. He'll try and find a little bit of distance on this near side of the field. The captain for Namibia, Johan Daisel, has really played a very, very good leadership role for this Namibian side as Namibia make a few more changes. And Herschel van Wyk, the young up-and-coming prop, did his duty and really made a strong impact at scrum time as well. And definitely Alistair Coetzee and Pine Pinar will have taken note of that. It's tough for positions, or for starting positions in the Namibian front row. But definitely Herschel van Wyk putting up his hand. So 20 minutes to go in this encounter. Kenya have really struggled in the second half. Kubu now looking to find touch on this near side to see if there's perhaps an opportunity for the Kenyan team to get some momentum. It was all about him in the first half, but in the second half, just not quite able to show what he is capable of. A few more changes now for the Kenyan team. So Kubu makes his way off. Stephen Sakari on. Peter Kilonzo, 7th player for Kenya as well, on. And Joshua Chisanga also making his way off. He would be replaced by Stephen Sakari, the brother of Daniel Sakuta. And then also making his way on Andrew Matoka, who made his debut for Kenya against the Currie Cup side last week. Replacement hooker on as well, Boniface Ochieng. Played in the 2019 World Junior Trophy for Kenya, so also one of their up-and-coming players. And the change at scrum off with Brian Wahinya on for his debut appearance for the Kenyan team as well. The Namibian defense is really pushed up very, very quickly in the second half, putting Kenya under all sorts of pressure. The replacement, Brian Juma, now trying to make his way into the half of Kenya. Quick hands there on the far side of the field, and nice speed being shown, but Namibia's defense holding for now, and it's been loose, but the ball has been lost forward. And now some pushing and shoving there on the far side of the field. Perhaps just arranging where they are going to meet up a little bit later to have a nice discussion about the game. And of course all sorts of other things as well, arranging where they will have a holiday in December perhaps. Plenty for the Kenyan coach, Paul Odera, to think about in the second half. They really looked strong in the first half, but in the second half they just struggled to get their hands on the ball, and they struggled to deal with the intensity of Namibia as well. They look like they will be up against Brazil in the 3rd, 4th place playoff next week, as Namibia look to continue dominating at scrum time, looking to force the penalty. But now it comes out. Stevens takes the ball out. Cleven Loubser now in the center position, gets the pass away to Ulrich Mouton. Lots of speed from him. He's brought to ground short of the 22-meter line, but he holds on the ground. That's very good work at the breakdown from Kenya. And the man with the receiving the accolades there, Andrew Matoka, a young player in this Kenyan side as well, doing really, really well to force the penalty. And this time he doesn't find touch, so that's a disappointing result there for Kenya. Thrown over the top of Cleven Loubser, does well to recover. Pass there from Hendrik Olivier, using those big backline players on that far side on Namibia. Securing the ball for Namibia, Adrian Boyson waiting now is Damian Stevens. Finds Vian Conradi, makes his way past a few defenders. Now again Damian Stevens. Andrew Matoka forcing the penalty earlier. He's back in position and he does well to send the ball back, but he doesn't find touch. This is where Namibia can also be really dangerous, as Cleven Loubser eyes up his options and he puts in a little kick, and he was inside his own half, and that one will roll out into touch in the 22. And that's the second time Cleven Loubser has done it in exactly the same position. And that is a great tactic that Namibia will continue using with the rule changes. Johan Tromp, man who's played plenty of games for Namibia, represented them at the World Cup a number of times as well, played some rugby over in South Africa for the Kings as well, and one of their players that have done extremely well for their country. So much pride and passion do the Namibian rugby players have, and it continues here on the field. They secure the ball from the line out, and again looking to rumble their way over the try line. Too strong, and it's another score for Namibia. Will take them up to 46 with the conversion to come, and it really has been too simple for Namibia when it comes to their attacking lineup that they've had deep inside the Kenyan half, and taking full advantage of all of those opportunities in the second 40. Henrik Olivier in the number 22 jersey, taking over the kicking duties. 25-year-old, made his debut 3 years ago for Namibia. And difficult to dethrone the likes of Damian Stevens and Clement Loubser in that halfback pairing. But one of their up-and-coming players. First kick of the match for Olivier. And he curls this one in, but he's called it a little bit too far, says the assistant referees. So it stays Namibia 46, Kenya 24. And again, it is the line out and the rolling maul from the line out. Just too strong, and Kenya not too sure how to compete with that. And definitely it will be Zimbabwe looking at this, possibly already starting to prepare for next week's final, where I'm sure there will be plenty more of those options being taken by Namibia. Ball secured by Kenya from the restart. Another opportunity for them. They've had so few in the second half. Wahinya trying to control things from the back, but Namibia strong in defense. The penalty goes the way of Kenya. Wahinya thinking of taking it quickly, but then deciding to settle things down rather. 10 minutes to go in this game. And Darwin Mukidza winning his 31st cap. He has taken over the kicking duties from Joan Tavaga Kubu. Boniface Ocheng waiting to throw this ball in at the line out, waiting for his jumpers. A few tall pillars there to aim at for the young hooker. They go to the front. It's been secured by Okeo. But again, a little bit messy. Again, Namibia putting the pressure on. This time they've managed to steal the ball. Now it comes to Clement Loubser. He spots some space on this near side of the field. It's a long kick. And this one will roll into touch just short of the 22. So Kenya with the option to take it quickly, but deciding against it. Very, very good pressure coming from Namibia. And again, Clement Loubser taking full advantage of the wind at his back in the second half, putting Namibia in some really good attacking opportunities and positions. So Ochieng this time with the line out on this side of the field. Had one on the far side on his opponent's 22, but this time he's not able to find his jumper. And Namibia crashing forward. Adrian Boyson, also a man who plays in the Major League Rugby in the US. Penalty advantage for Namibia is there. Max Kachicheko. This time Vian Kunradi. Keeping it on the short side. Pass on the inside. Just not going to hand, but the referee will bring them back for the earlier penalty. Cleven Lopesha this time, setting up this line out on this near side. And do Kenya compete here at the line out, or do they just wait for the driving maul, which they know is probably coming? They decide not to compete, and it comes out quickly on this time, at this occasion, and a nice little pass on the inside into the hands of Hilarius Kisting. And in his 9th cap for his country, he goes over, coming off the bench. And Namibia are into the 50s with 7 minutes remaining in this encounter. A little bit of a variation from the line out, deciding not to set for the maul, letting it go a little bit. And Hilarius Kisting gets over for his first try of the game. Enrique Olivier with his second attempt. The first one was wide. Takes his time with this one, and he curls it in. This time he curls it in nicely, and that is the score that takes Namibia up to 53. And a very, very dominant performance from the Namibians in the second half. That line out working for them so nicely, and Vian Conradi this time breaking away, realizing that Kisting is on his inside, and he gets the pass away as well. A little bit deeper from the restart, but still secured by Namibia. A bit of a tester there for Kenya, and he looked up because he realized that the big JC Grayling was storming ahead and just not able to hold on to that ball, and an opportunity for Witherich Mouton to try and make his way through the middle of this field, again deciding to go through the short side. Little chip kick being put through, and Cleven Lopesha with a nice little pass on the inside. It looked like it was going to roll out of the back of the hand, and Vian Conradi, he created a try a few minutes ago, but this time he goes over for his own. Namibia cruising to victory in Game 2 of the Stellenbosch Challenge here at the Makota Fields. The conversion straight out in front for Namibia, which will take them to 60 after finding themselves trailing by 4 at the break. No problem there with the kick for Willifeer. And Cleven Lopesha setting this try up. It was initially Udrich Mouton going in, making contact, and a little bit of a kick through coming from Willifeer himself. Looked like it's just going to roll into touch, but Cleven Lopesha, no look pass into the hands of Vian Conradi, who only knows one way, and that's right in between the sticks. And he gets over for another score for Namibia, and they're back on the attack already from inside their own half. Sanaveses, and there's Cliven Lopesha as well. Daisel again with a bit of a no-look pass. This time doesn't go to hand and it's been lost forward. And Kenya now looking to see if they can't make something in the final few minutes happen, trying to restore some pride and trying to also get a little bit of momentum going into the second half. But that's a massive collision there and a big handoff or big bounce off on the big Yanku Venter. But again, it's Namibia back with ball in hand and a big tackle there coming on Cliven Lopesha. Not too sure if that was late. The referee seems happy with that. And towards the end of this game, a few big collisions. We've seen plenty of them in this game, but that is also where Monet Ferreira says we can call it a day. Namibia running out comfortable victors in the end over Kenya. In the first half, they struggled at times, trailing 24-19, but in the second half, really finding their groove in cruise control mode. In the first part of the second half, it was the line-outs doing the magic for them. Then they started throwing the ball around, and really a very solid display. And a big warning also for Zimbabwe, who they will face next in the Stellenbosch Challenge next year. So there have been some big clashes, big collisions. Good to see the players shake their hands afterwards. And of course, whatever happens on the field, keep it there. But it really has been a very, very strong and a physical game. Cliven Lopesha looked like he might be heading through a gap there. Just got the pass away, but a strong tackle on him and also a big bounce off earlier in that movement as well. But a wonderful second half display and a good first half as well by Kenya. And they showed how dangerous they can be if they have ball in hand in the second half, just not able to have enough of that ball in hand and struggling at times in the second half to match up to what Namibia were throwing at them. Johan Daisel, the captain of Namibia, leading them well as he has done for so many years. And again, it is Namibia who progress to next week's final in the Stellenbosch Challenge. Kenya will have a few things to think about after looking at that second half, but they'll be motivated by their first half performance as well, showing just what they can do. And they'll look to repeat that first half performance against Kenya as well. So it's full time in game 2. It's Namibia 60, Kenya 24 in match 2 of the World Rugby Stellenbosch Challenge.